Hello, good evening and welcome to Joy News Prime. We're coming to you live from our studios here at Kukumlimli. We're live on DSTV channel 421, GoTV channel 125 and around the world on myjoyonline.com. My name is Faustina Saf and I'm doing this with...
And I'm Carlos Kaloni. This evening, Acting Chief Justice Paul Adu Boahene directs all registrars of the High Court, Court of Appeal and the Supreme Court in the country to bring to his attention the filing of all new cases so he can assign judges where there are more than one court.
Also tonight, former National Signals Bureau boss Kwabena Adu Boahene and his wife sue Attorney General Dr. Dominic Ayeni for alleged defamation. We have more on this developing story.
Also, the Financial Intelligence Center freezes the bank account of Katamanto and the personal account of its owner, Kingsley Ajiman, popularly known as Chairman Unicom. We have details as the Financial Intelligence Center also demands for the bank statement of the Magdan Group in its latest crackdown on money laundering and other irregularities.
Also tonight, the Health Minister Kwabena Adu appeals to health professionals at the Tamale Teaching Hospital to call off its strike after handing over about 35 different medical equipment to the facility.
And so my humble appeal to my wonderful medical doctors and health professionals at Tamale Teaching Hospital is that I am the first person to take care of your interest. Therefore, let's call off the strike and let's all regroup.
Now, this evening, Acting Chief Justice Paul Adu Boahene has this evening directed all registrars of the High Court, Court of Appeal and Supreme Court across the country to notify him of the filing of all new cases. The new directive was outlined in a memo dated April 23, 2025 and signed by the Deputy Judicial Secretary, Dr. Sirakus B. Bampora. The memo was addressed to all registrars. This directive will enable him to assign judges in instances where there is more than one court. Let me bring you details of that particular memo there. And there you have it. And it reads, I have been directed by the Acting Honorable Chief Justice to inform you that all newly filed cases and applications must be brought to his attention for assignments of court and paneling of judges where there are more than one court and for the fixing of dates for hearing. Take note that this directive supersedes all previous directives until further notice. Please accept the compliment of the Acting Honorable Chief Justice.
Meanwhile, Old Tafo MP Vincent Ekosefwa has filed a fresh application at the Supreme Court seeking to squash the suspension of the Chief Justice. Now, this latest legal action follows President John Dramani Mahama's recent decision to suspend the Chief Justice after a prima facie case has been established in the petition for her removal. Well, earlier, the MP had challenged the president's authority to refer the petition to the Council of State for prima facie determination. However, in a new twist this evening, Mr. Sefwa has returned to the Supreme Court with a fresh application aimed at suspending the president's decision. Joy News is keeping its eye on this case and will give you updates as soon as we have.
Right, let's spend some more time in the court because former National Signals Bureau boss Kwabena Adu Boahene and his wife has filed a defamation lawsuit against the Attorney General, Dr. Dominic Ayeni. The suit stems from a press conference held by Dr. Ayeni on March 24, 2025, during which he alleged, among other claims, that the couple was involved in misapplication of public funds to the tune of 39 million Ghana cedis. Now, weeks after that remark, the couple is fighting back, describing the assertions as defamatory. My colleague Kenneth Jesse joins me on Zoom with excerpts from that particular suit. Ken, what are the details of this particular lawsuit? Right, we'll bring my colleague Kenneth later into the conversation on that particular matter.
Well, let's do other stories now. This evening, the Minister of Health, Kwabena Adu, is appealing to medical doctors and health professionals at the Tamale Teaching Hospital to call off their strike and return to the negotiation table for the sake of patients and the broader healthcare system. Well, hundreds of patients were left frustrated and fuming as they arrived at the hospital on Thursday morning seeking medical attention, only to find empty consulting rooms with no doctors in sight. Addressing the media during the ceremony to hand over medical equipment to the new CEO of the hospital, Minta Kando said he had no ill intention behind the unfortunate incident that occurred. While my colleague Collins Frimpong was at that ceremony, he filed this report.
Health Minister Kwabena Adu has appealed to doctors at the Tamale Teaching Hospital who yesterday declared suspension of all activities at the emergency ward and also the OPD due to the recent incident that ensued between the minister and the officials at the hospital. According to the doctors, they are demanding a public apology from the health minister as well as also provided basic essential materials to the hospital.
I have absolutely no intention to disrespect any medical doctor or any health worker. That will be the last thing I will do. But indeed, let it be said that respect is also reciprocal. I am prepared for us to come around the table and discuss whatever we need to discuss. And so my humble appeal to my wonderful medical doctors and health professionals at Tamale Teaching Hospital is that I am the first person to take care of your interest. And therefore, let's call off the strike and let's all regroup and strategize going forward.
Responding to the demands from the doctors at the Tamale Teaching Hospital, Health Minister today has handed over 35 separate medical equipment to the new Chief Executive Officer for the Tamale Teaching Hospital.
This morning, as has already been indicated, I have some equipment, some consumables, and some medicines to be donated to Tamale Teaching Hospital.
And some of these equipments include the gloves, the face masks, and also the assorted sachets. These are some of the basic consumables that the health minister has handed over to the Tamale Teaching Hospital. Other important materials that he also handed over included 3 Draga ICU ventilators, 6 Draga ICU cardiac monitors, and also Draga transport ventilator, as well as 5 oxygen concentrators. Reporting for Joy News, Collins Frimpong, Ministry of Health, Accra.
Well, at the heart of this standoff between government and health workers are patients, many of whom are now being turned away following the doctor's decision to suspend critical services indefinitely. Correspondent Martina Bugri joins us live from Tamale Teaching Hospital, where she's been engaging patients affected by the ongoing industrial action. Martina, paint a picture for us. What's the situation like on the ground as we speak?
The situation earlier in the morning was a tense one because of the strike and the sacking of the CEO. And so it was very difficult to navigate around. They would not even allow you to mount your tripod to work. At a point, the security threatened to seize any gadgets that you would mount. But going forward, patients started arriving, and within a twinkle of an eye, the entire hospital was flooded with people who had come from far and near to seek for health care. Now, one interesting thing that happened was when they come, they go for their carts, they go to the designated place for nurses to take their vital stats. But these nurses wouldn't tell them that the doctors are not coming in. So the patients would take their cards back, and then they give them a consulting room they should go into, and then their folders are distributed. These patients spent their entire day at the facility hoping that the doctors would come. At a point, some who could afford other places to go decided to go. Those who came from far, and especially with specific ailments that they think that they need specialized attention had to spend their entire day there. Now, towards the end of the day, that was around 5 o'clock, most of them had gone, except those who had come from far and didn't have a place to go. They decided to just get a place around the hospital and hang on, hoping that by close of day or tomorrow morning, they would get some help. There was so much frustration among patients who had come in. Others were in pain. You could see visibly on their faces. And some couldn't contain it. I mean, we spoke to a man who said that he had come in hoping that he would get help. And here he is, no help. We spoke to another one who said he had brought in a patient whose body was all swelled up, and then he was in pain.
Right.
And she said she was desperate now. She didn't know where to go.
Thank you so much, Martina Bugri, for that update there from the Tamale Teaching Hospital.
Indeed, but still at the hospital, management of the Tamale Teaching Hospital are optimistic that the striking doctors will call off the strike by the close of tomorrow. Dr. Salifu Al-Hassan spoke on behalf of the management after engaging the doctors and the minority members on Parliament's Select Committee on Health.
We met the leadership of the Doctors Association of the Tamale Teaching Hospital, and they narrated to us the circumstances that led to, because as management we saw their we saw their press statement in the media space, and we were yet to be given an official copy. And so it was this morning that we met them. And then they told us they were yet to give us the copy. And they explained that the officer that was involved in the exchanges was traumatized. And mind you, this is a leader who trains house officers, who trains residents. So he's like a model in the medical fraternity. He's also the head of the Accident Emergency Sub BMC. And so if he's down, it affects a lot. Even though on the day of the incident, management invited him and we spoke to him. Yes, and I think we're able to allay, the fears. So today we pleaded with them, and then we also took the opportunity to ask the Parliamentary Select Committee on Health, who also visited us today, to add their voices, and they did. So we are hopeful that by tomorrow or latest today, we should be hearing good news that they have laid down. They've called off this one.
Well, the minority in Parliament is insisting that the Health Minister, Kwabena Adu Boahene, must render an unqualified apology for his actions on Tuesday. Dr. Kingsley Ajiman, a member of Parliamentary Select Committee on Health, believes an apology is not far-fetched. He spoke to the media after the committee's meeting with doctors and management of the hospital.
As I alluded to earlier on, nobody's beyond an apology. Absolutely, when you have done deeper introspection and deeper reflection, and in the supreme interest of affairs, where the caregivers will have their peace of mind and feel safe in the environment that they work, and also to act as a way of preventing others from taking an action which they have taken in the past before. Because per what we have seen, the videos that we have cited, it is more or less and the kind of bereft of bashing that is happening on the social media. Most of it is exposing the health system or the health sector. So we believe that apology will calm things down. The doctors will have the confidence to do their work freely without fear. So I believe everything that they have asked for is justifiable.
Now, let's take you back to the court because former National Signals Bureau boss Kwabena Adu Boahene and his wife have filed a defamation lawsuit against the Attorney General, Dr. Dominic Ayeni. The suit stems from a press conference held by Dr. Ayeni on March 24, 2025, during which he alleged, among other claims, that a couple was involved in misapplication of public funds to the tune of 39 million Ghana cedis, Weeks after the remarks, the couple is fighting back, describing the assertion as defamatory. My colleague Kenneth Jesse joins me on Zoom with excerpt of that particular law, the suit there. Ken, what are they demanding actually in this particular suit?
Are they on?
Yeah, Ken, I can hear you. I'm asking, you have been looking into this particular lawsuit by the two person, Mr. Boahene and his wife. And I'm asking you, what have you found out?
That Dr. Ayene's public remarks. Have you unmuted?
Yeah, proceed. I can hear you loud and clear, Kenneth.
Right, Carlos, I believe you can hear me now. The suit is a long suit, but we've summarized it in 2 pages, and it basically says that the plaintiffs allege that the Attorney General, Dr. Ayene's public remarks falsely portray them as criminals and fraudsters who had embezzled state funds and engaged in money laundering. It continues to say that these accusations have severely damaged their reputations and caused distress, public ridicule, and emotional harm, particularly affecting their children who have reportedly faced taunts in the schools they attend. And it quotes that the defendants also published the full written text of the defamatory material on the internet. And the suit states,
all right, thank you so much. Kenneth Jesse is my colleague here in the Joy Newsroom. Also, officials of NACOC on Wednesday, 23rd April 2024, 25, intercepted a cargo being packaged for shipping at the Swiss port containing concealed substances suspected to be cocaine and destined for the Netherlands. A total of 73 slabs with a weight of 89.74 kg. Now, so far, 4 suspects have been picked up and are currently in custody at NACOC whilst investigations are underway. Let me go on Zoom to speak to Francis Amwa. He speaks for NACOC. Tell us how you arrived at this arrest in the first place.
Yeah, thank you so much, Carlos, and we're grateful for the opportunity. I think just as you've narrated, that was yesterday around 5:15 thereabouts. Our officers stationed at the Swiss port KIA cargo session were going through their normal routine work, and a package went through the scanner, and because they are professionals and because they are trained on a scanner to detect things, they were not comfortable of what they saw, so they decided that they would do a physical check.
Right.
So once they did a physical check, then they realized that there is this substance, when tested, was cocaine.
Well, if you can hear me, tell us, we understand 4 people have so far been arrested. Are they all Ghanaians?
Yes, I can confirm that. I can confirm 4 people have been arrested who are currently assisting the commission in further investigation as far as this particular matter is concerned.
Yeah, so I was asking earlier, I didn't get that clear. How these people you've arrested, the 4 of them, are they all Ghanaian nationals or from other countries?
Yeah, they are all Ghanaian nationals.
All right. What is the market value of the substance put together?
Even as you rightly said, it was yesterday, we're doing further investigations. What is important for us now is to be able to follow up with the leads that we've gotten. We haven't, as we speak now, put a value on it. So I will say that once we're done with investigations, which will not take us too long, depending on the leads we have, we'll put everything in the public domain.
Would you want to say anything to the public with regards to this narcotics through our ports?
Yes, I think that what we are trying to do as a commission and as a nation is that we're trying to make sure that it is very unattractive, it is very unprofitable, and also it is difficult to use our country's port as a transit point for onward distribution to other parts of the world. The leadership of Narcotics Control Commission is determined and is committed, and with the support of His Excellency, we're working hard to make sure that, like I said earlier, our country is not used as a transit point.
Right.
And also people who traffic in narcotics will realize that it is very unprofitable to use Ghana as a transit point.
Thank you so much, Francis Amoah, for speaking to us here on Joy News Prime.
To other stories now, President John Dramani Mahama has pledged his government's commitment to intensifying efforts for the implementation of a policy aimed at renegotiating mining leases to ensure greater local participation and benefit for Ghanaians from the country's natural resources. Speaking at the Ministerial Executive Leadership Program in Adan, John Mahama emphasized that while foreign mining companies will not be forced out, it is critical that mining directly benefits the communities where operations take place. He lamented the underdevelopment in many mining communities despite decades of resource extraction.
To do the same things. And that is why recently we had a little issue which we have resolved with one of our mining companies whose lease had expired after 30 years. And it was our desire to take it over and use Ghanaian expertise to be able to also exploit that resource and let the benefits remain in our country. Happily, we reached an amicable resolution to work together to transition that mine into Ghanaian ownership. But it leads me to what my thoughts are, that we must have an indigenization program for taking control of some of our natural resources. And so in the next few months, we'll develop a policy on indigenous participation in our natural resource exploitation. And anytime, we're not going to expropriate anybody's concession or anything, but anytime a lease comes up for renewal, we would want to negotiate to see that there's more Ghanaian participation, indigenous Ghanaian participation in these things, so that we can also raise the resources to bring prosperity to our people. You go to the mining areas and look at the communities around the mining centers, still steeped in poverty. Government has to replace schools and the trees, even at this time, build CHIPS compounds, repair the roads and all that. And we can only do that if we can get the resources from the natural resource endowment that God has given us.
Meanwhile, the executive director of the Center for Energy Policy, Ben Wachi, has strongly criticized his government's approach to resolving issues surrounding the Daman mine, stating that it exposes a lack of genuine commitment to the mining sector. Speaking to Joy News on the sidelines of a high-level energy and mining conference in Washington, D.C., Ben Wachi argued that the government's inconsistent policies and delayed intervention in addressing challenges in Daman mine, a key gold processing asset operation in Goldfields, Ghana, demonstrate a broader neglect of the sector's potential to drive sustainable economic growth.
Gone to our head to sign those agreements. We signed them. And once you have signed those agreements and welcome the investment, you have to respect those agreements. In most cases, when we have not, we have been bruised in court, and the people have had to pay for those damages. And we thought that it shouldn't continue to happen, and we need to draw attention to it. So it's a welcoming decision that we have been able to negotiate it in a way that will not take us to court or jeopardize our interest ultimately. But find a way around how Goldfield could exit or continue, how they want to do it. It's the politics. If that increases revenue for the government, fair deal. If it reduces revenue for the government, they have pledges and promises to fulfill, and that's between the government and the people. But the fact that the decision is not going to imperil the pockets of the ordinary, we are game. I mean, we can look at the specifics, around some of the content of the letter, where we are saying that we want to take it and give it to an indigenous company. Nobody is against indigenous companies producing gold or being part of the industry. But we shouldn't paint a picture as if our gold resources have run out. Even Galamseyers are identifying gold prospects and mining. What stopped the state from identifying gold prospects and going to mine them? We should do things properly and not create a certain atmosphere as if we hate investment.
You're still watching Joy News Prime.
Yeah, in our studio from Kokomeme, we return with more. Please stay. Well, welcome back, and thank you so much for staying with us here on Joy News Prime. Now, in its latest war against money laundering and other irregularities in the financial sector, the Financial Intelligence Center has frozen the bank account of Akunta Mining and its owner, the Ashanti Regional Chairman of the New Patriotic Party, Ntwe Boisiako, popularly known as Chairman Wontumi. Pursuant to the Anti-Money Laundering Act, the Financial Intelligence Center has also requested for the bank account of the bank statement of the Magdan Group over some transactions the company made between 2020 to 2024. My colleague Latif Idrisu joins me in studio with details of the letter. Latif, you've been studying this letter. What can you tell us?
Yeah, so this is a confidential letter we've intercepted, and it's from the Financial Intelligence Center, and it reads, intelligence received by the Financial Intelligence Center indicates that your outfit received unpaid various sums of money to several entities between January 2020 and December 2024. Pursuant to Section 36 and 37 of the Anti-Money Laundering Act 2020, Act 1044, kindly furnish us with the following particulars.
Right.
1. All electronic fund transfers conducted by your outfit from January 1st, 2020 and December 31, 2024. 2. Copies of checks issued to third parties during the aforementioned period, and that is from January 2020 to December 31, 2024. 3. The financial institutions used to make the payment in question. Kindly note that pursuant to Section 37(4) of Act 1044, a response within 7 days would be much appreciated. Right. And it must be said, Carlos, that the Financial Intelligence Center has given notice to all banks involved in this particular account to comply with this particular directive.
Okay.
So that you don't touch anything with regards to these particular accounts.
Right.
That those that have been frozen, that is in respect of Chairman Wuntumi's bank account and Akunta Mining's bank account, plus this particular bank account of the Magdan Group.
So you've been looking at this letter. So far, do we know if indeed, have we confirmed from the Akunta Mining itself or Chairman Wuntumi himself to know if indeed their accounts have been frozen?
Exactly the case. So we have the confirmation that the bank accounts of Akunta Mining and the bank accounts of Chairman Wuntumi have all been frozen.
Right.
In fact, we have the lead legal counsel for the Akunta Mining Company confirming, I'm talking about Andy Apia-Kubi. He has confirmed to us that indeed the bank accounts of Chairman Wuntumi and his mining company, that is Akunta Mining, have all been frozen. He says one of the options they are considering is to go to court. And so that is what they've told us for now, as far as these...
So how about the Magdan Group of companies? Do we know anything about it?
So for Magdan, we do not know whether or not they've furnished the Financial Intelligence Center with these bank statements and bank account as has been requested.
Right.
But if you witness, it says, and it's still here, it says, kindly note that pursuant to Section 37(4) of Act 1044, a response within 7 days would be much appreciated.
All right.
It's a way of impressing on the Magdan Group to provide these bank details within 7 days.
But we are unable to tell the volume of amount involved in all of these things at this stage.
Not at all. We do not know how much transfers. All we know is that it's transferred from January 1, 2020 to December 31, 2024. This is 4 years. Some are questioning if this is going on a fishing expedition. It's such a long time to look into the volumes of transfers that have been made and monies they have received themselves.
Right.
It's not monies they've paid to third parties, but monies that have been paid into their accounts.
Right.
So it's a voluminous exercise the FIC is going to undertake.
So FIC will be doing this not only limited to these two institutions.
No, it's a larger crackdown on anti-money laundering.
Right.
They want to crack down on money laundering and some infringements within the financial sector.
Right.
In general.
Thank you so much, Lateef. But we've been trying to get to the legal counsel of Akunta Mining to give us details of this particular happening, but we've not been successful. But we'll still keep digging and bring you details on that. Now, this is not a one-time gesture, but a sustained policy commitment. These were the words of President John Dramani Mahama as his government launched the free sanitary pad for junior high school and senior high school girls initiative aimed at preventing girls from dropping out of school due to menstruation. According to the Ministry of Education, poor menstrual hygiene often leads to absenteeism, low retention rates, and poor academic performance. The intervention is designed to remove one of the silent barriers to girls' education. Now, speaking at the launch of the event, President Mahama promised that the program will be expanded to cover more girls. The initiative is part of President Mahama's 120-day social contract with Ghanaians, and the clock is ticking fast with just 13 days remaining before its expiration.
So today I say to every girl child in Ghana, you are not alone, you are not forgotten, and you are not invisible. We see you, we believe in your potential, and we will stand with you every month, every term, and every year. To our parents, I say, you have carried this burden for too long, having to choose between books, food, fees, and sanitary products. Help is here, and help is here to stay. This is not a one-time gesture. This is a sustained policy commitment, and we will expand it with your support and your feedback.
The Education Minister, Harun Idrisu, says his outfit will receive the report of the National Education Review Committee in a few days, subjected to scrutiny and make recommendation. He says the distribution of the free sanitary pad will go a long way to help the girl child.
Emphasis of the John Dramani Mahama administration from next year will be to invest more in quality basic education. That is not to say he will de-emphasize free senior high school. Appropriately as he used the word, he will review it. We are expecting to receive the report of the National Education Forum a couple of days ahead of us, and will subject it to scrutiny and make appropriate recommendations that secure the future of Ghanaian children, not to abandon investment in higher education.
Away from that, the Deputy General Secretary of TUC, Dr. Kwabena Adu Boahene, has charged the government to take steps to improve the conditions of service of public sector workers in order to curb brain drain, particularly within the public sector. Speaking at the pre-May Day ceremony, Dr. Kwabena Adu Boahene proposed a review of the single spine salary structure to reflect the current economic outlook of the country. Stephen Mensah has more in the following report.
This is calling for the adoption of a living wage to reflect the true cost of living rather than the current minimum wage system. Addressing a forum by Organized Labour on Thursday, Deputy General Secretary of the TUC, Dr. Kwabena Adu Boahene, said disparities in the current pay policy and the growth of the country's economy remains the main driver of Ghana's brain drain.
15 cents meaning that whoever earns anything below that figure is assumed to be poor. Now, if you compare that with our minimum wage, which is currently at $1.28, it means that we are paying people, but the statistics also say that those receiving that pay are poor. Yeah, that is the point we just made. And the reasonable proposition, therefore, is that we need to push up the minimum wage to a level that will allow minimum wage earners to escape poverty. That is what we need now.
Dr. Nyako is proposing immediate government intervention to restructure the pay system, which he believes is crucial for ensuring sustained productivity.
If you want to retain those people, it is important that we make their pay attractive. And sometimes when we say attractive pay, we are not asking for the moon. We are asking for a level of pay that should allow workers and their families to live comfortably, to be able to have a decent accommodation, decent 3-square meal a day, and to be able to afford some level of entertainment, luxury for themselves and their families. So we are really not asking for the moon. They should be able to pay for their child's school fees. They should not struggle if their children are sick and they have to go to the hospital. Now, if you pay people and they are not able to do all of these things, they will find or they will look for opportunities elsewhere and leave the country.
On his part, Chief Executive Officer of the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission, Dr. George Smith-Graham, says collaborative efforts between government and labor unions is required to address disparities in public sector pay policy.
The single spine pay policy was not supposed to be implemented in isolation. The single spine pay policy was supposed to be part of a broader public sector reform. The fact that we've not reformed the public sector and we are still going about implementing the single spine, this is where we will get to. Who was monitoring the 35% that we were supposed to get to? Organized labor went to sleep. I'm not sure anybody monitored to ensure on a yearly basis what percentage have we gotten to, so far as the convergence criteria we're looking for.
The TUC is warning that if government does not act swiftly to revise the pay system, the ongoing brain drain within the public sector will be inevitable. Stephen Mensah's report for Joy News.
Now, 3 months after devastating fire ravaged the Katamanto Market, traders are slowly recovering from the disaster. Business has officially resumed. However, concerns linger over the lack of basic amenities like fire extinguishers, access to water and reliable electricity, which traders say are crucial for their safety and business sustainability. In our first series, Joy News' Sarah Mensah visited the Katamanto Market to hear from the traders.
Traders at the Katamanto Market are rebuilding after a devastating fire, but concerns remain over basic amenities like fire extinguishers, water and electricity. The traders say their safety and livelihoods are at risk due to poor lighting, lack of water and unreliable electricity. They appeal for urgent action to ensure a safe working environment.
Fire service for say dachi BBC a ombenya nsuo di aye adwuma enso omunya hwee.
They should bring water to the market to make it easier for fire service vehicles to quickly access water to extinguish fires in case of outbreak. We have space in the market, but our leaders have closed all the spaces.
We need poles. Our leaders promised to bring them, but they never came. We are looking up to our leaders to come to our aid because we really need help. Market manager Educhum Atamenu assures traders that concerns are being addressed. He says fire extinguisher distribution has begun and 30 poles have been donated for market lighting.
If we're able to have a mechanized borehole in the market, if there should be any fire, at least the availability of water will be ready for them to use to stop the fires. Yeah. Formerly, we had fire extinguisher, but because the fire started at the last scale, they were not able to use it to stop the fire. As I talked with you, our foundation has provided us with 1,000 bottles of fire extinguishers, and so I think that we have already agreed.
So when are you going to distribute them?
Distribution has already started. They have finished with our part. Also have a collaboration with the electricity company, and they have come and they have done their search, their whatever. They are going to expect the place and see that at least they will be able to provide them with about 30 poles.
Market leaders deny allegations of planning to sell the market to All Foundation, a group assisting fire victims. The foundation's director of operations, Samuel Owusu-Setre, confirms they have no interest in buying the market.
At All Foundation, we are registered as a foundation, and under no circumstance will even government of Ghana be willing to even give us the land. So we want to assure everybody who trades in Katamanto, who has interest, to be assured that All Foundation, our interest is to see improvement in the market.
The situation at Katamanto Market remains a concern. Traders hope for swift action to address their safety and business needs.
Other stories now, Unicom Chemist Limited has won 2 prestigious awards at the Farm Excellent Awards 2025 held at Movenpick Ambassador Hotel in Accra. The awards recognize their excellence in community pharmacy and retail pharmacy of the year. CEO Mrs. Patience Cheka expressed her gratitude to the Pharmaceutical Society of Ghana and commended her team for their hard work, attributing the wins to dedication and divine favor. She emphasized the importance of prioritizing health and well-being, not just for individuals, but also for the broader society.
Awards are first, the Excellence in Pharmacy, Community Pharmacy, Ghana, and the second one is Community Pharmacy Retail Chain of the Year. These awards were won by Unicom Chemist from the Pharmaceutical Society of Ghana. Unicom Chemist has been in existence in Ghana now for over 30 years, within which we've been able to have, from one single shop, we now have over 30 shops. These 30 pharmacies are made up of retails and wholesales. And I would say we've been able to achieve this mainly because of the hands of God, and then also the kind of staff we have and the management of Unicom Chemist. I would say Unicom Chemist, our goal is to provide quality health care, and that is not going to change. It is rather going to improve. We provide quality, affordable health care to the nation. We aim at looking at West Africa and going beyond Africa to help the society in prevention of curable diseases and maintain good health in our societies.
Well, you're still watching Joy News Prime, and this is the moment I leave you, Carlos Coloni.
Right, and when we return, showbiz with Becky Beggs next.